But the sermon has lasted from verse 3 of chapter 5, where the Beatitudes began, to verse 27 of chapter 7, where the house on the sand ends, right? It's been speech from there, all Jesus's talk from there, from 5:3 to 7:27. On each end, we've got a narrator both opening and closing to frame it, right? The opening was Jesus walked up on the hillside, went up the mountain, and his disciples followed him. And when he sat down, they gathered and listened, right? I want you to notice that was the opening. Who is in awe here? When Jesus had finished these words, the crowds were astounded. He's quoted Mark, right? But we've pictured all along, we've taken little check-ins during these 8 weeks and said, the disciples were the only audience at first. But this gathered crowd that would have followed Jesus around, and that we know from later episodes followed him even when he didn't want anybody to come, when he'd go away to get peace, and they'd follow him across the Sea of Galilee. Here, a crowd has gathered by the end to co-admire Jesus' sermon, to be astonished along with the disciples at this teaching, because it looks different than what their scribes do, right? So it's worth seeing that there are 2 verses on the front and 2 verses on the back that become the frame for the Sermon on the Mount, right? One that sends them up the hill, the other that gives the response at the end.